She's been attacked. That being Keekihime, self-described as used to be an idol in Japan, now cosplayer, streamer, YouTuber, and voice actress. This familiar voice, which you'll hear in a few moments, tweeting out earlier, "By the way, I'm done for the day with photos. Thanks for coming. I got assaulted by an old stalker and had a panic attack in front of hundreds of people, so honestly, I feel disgusting and I don't know what to think. I will, unless it's illegal, release a photo of his face later with more details." This all happening at the Comic Market event, also known as Comiket, this being Comiket 104. This being a twice-a-year event and being held for nearly 50 years now, attracting artists and cosplayers alike. Yesterday, Keekihime tweeting out, "I got some stuff to survive tomorrow's Comiket, and I'm freezing my sports drink as I saw other genius people bring frozen drinks with them before." Kiki adding, "Also my cosplay has a parasol." Then also showing off the character that she will be cosplaying as, and saying further, "I'm really scared of the heat tomorrow. So I'd really like to gather a lot of people together and do something like a photo session all at once, but it's been so long since I've been to Comiket that I don't know if there will be enough people to do that. I don't know how the photo session will go, so I'll just wait and see how it goes." Before the incident, this cosplayer tweeting out where they would be next, as then reports of the incident began to be posted on Twitter. The assaulter in question being right in the middle of this photograph, wearing a blue t-shirt. This individual posting, "I heard a woman cosplaying as Asuka screaming at the cosplay plaza at Comiket, so I went to see what was going on. It turned out she was screaming because a stalker cameraman was approaching her. I heard that this cameraman had been arrested by the police before." Keekihime taking time to reply to that, saying, "One thing to add is that this guy is not a camera guy. Other than that, thank you." That same individual then also going on to show video of the incident, as the man of interest can be seen on the far left in the blue t-shirt. As here now, we have photographic evidence of this incident play by play. Keekihime seen there in the middle, and the man in the blue t-shirt seen to the far left walking over the barrier. This user sharing, "I was the photographer who was shooting at the scene. Suddenly a man jumped from behind the roadblock. Because the incident happened so suddenly, everyone was stunned. At that time, two thoughts had flashed through my head. Was he someone that she knew, and was he joking with her? Or was she being really attacked? So I subconsciously took this photo of the attack." This photograph actually showing the attack itself. The man in the blue t-shirt grabbing the cosplayer and holding her, as here just a moment later we have the two thankfully separated, with the man's face seen in full. That account going on to say, "However, when I heard her screaming loudly, everyone realized that it was the latter and immediately rushed forward to separate the two. She said that he was a stalker who had been following her for a long time. During an event a few years ago, he had even wanted to pounce on her and kiss her, saying that he had wanted to marry her. Not long after the two of them were separated, the staff came forward to ask what had happened. Although my Japanese skills are not good, I can feel that the organizer wanted to calm down the matter during the conversation. And if the police are alerted, things can get serious. This is something that no one wants to see, but it's very unfair to the cosplayer. After all, she is the victim." So staff didn't say anything. Of course, if you want to call the police, you can, but then everyone will have to make a record, and the rest of the itinerary will be ruined. With everyone thinking on that, they suddenly found that the stalker had disappeared. I had found that the staff did not catch him, and looking back now, it's good that I kept the photos. Afterwards, the staff took the photos of the stalker from my camera. It's unclear if there will be any follow-up measures afterwards. Because it's not clear, I hope you don't make random assumptions. Maybe they will do something afterwards, but they didn't act so quickly because the event had just ended. So please leave some time for the staff. And then later, everyone was asking Keekihime whether she should retreat after something like this had happened. But Kiki took a look, and seeing that there were many people still waiting in line, and even being so scared as to being almost crying, Keekihime, still very dedicated, had calmed down for a moment, and then after adjusting, forced a smile for more photographs. This individual is saying, "Thank you for all those that came forward to provide assistance. I would like to apologize to all of her fans because of my hesitation at the moment and not preventing her from being hugged by a bear. Looking back now, I feel very sorry for her. I'm very sorry. I still remember the situation at the time. Please correct me if there is any misunderstanding. The above photos and content were posted after discussing with her." This account then going on to point out this account, that being at Phoenix_Rick_, the alleged stalker of Keekihime. One account replying, "It's Rick, wow. This guy has always been a dangerous guy. Keekihime-chan, you came all the way from Austria to Japan, but you still got stalked by him. Instagram. Keekihime replying, he's pretty well known on Nico Live. He's been stalking me for a long time. He tried to kiss me at Comiket before. He stalked me when I arrived at the airport and I took him to the police. But at the time, I felt like I had to be attacked with a knife or something like that to do anything. I let my guard down because it had been years. Other accounts going on to show more photos of this individual and various other appearances they've made. This as more and more photos would begin to circulate, showing this individual at various events. Keekihime later going on to host a Twitter space entitled Comiket Stalker Incident and having this to say.
If you guys haven't seen, I just retweeted the photos of the incident that paint the picture pretty clearly. So I want to like talk about this because first of all, I need to get this out of my chest because I've been holding it and kind of had to take pictures right away afterwards. And then after that, I like changed and then met with a friend and then we had dinner and like I had to hold it in this whole time. I mean, I talked about it with them too, but like I just feel like I have to, this whole time I have to like try to control myself to not like cry or something. I don't want to be a complete downer after all to everybody. So I just want to let it out. I've been holding it in for hours. I don't think there's a concern with me talking about it because it's not like the police is gonna do about it. They like, okay, even if they wanted to, because I talked to one police guy who was really nice and really seemed genuinely concerned, but the sad truth is if you don't live here, then it doesn't matter what happens to you. Sadly. Okay, so I'll start from the beginning. So I went to Comiket today, and as you may know, I tried going to Comiket before 2 or 1.5 years ago, I guess, for the winter Comiket, and that was gonna be the first time in a long time. And who knows, that guy probably was there waiting for me. Too bad I didn't come out to cosplay because I failed because I forgot my cosplay part of it. So 1.5 years ago, I was gonna go, but then it didn't work out. So this was gonna be like my revenge. This was going to be my revenge. I was gonna be there for the first time in many years, enjoying myself at Comiket. I haven't been to Comiket for like 5 years, I think. Like before Corona. And even before that. So I was looking forward to it, but also terrified because of the crowds and the heat. Ideally, I did not want to go to summer Comiket, but to winter Comiket. But I've been to Comiket many times before, and I know how it is. And there's been incidents with the same guy as well at Comiket, or was it Tokyo Game Show? I'm not sure. In the end, same thing. Although I think it was Comiket. I announced it beforehand because it's been so long since I was at an event like this in Japan, and I did not think of this guy's existence anymore because I haven't given him an opportunity to assault me for a long time, I suppose. I thought he would have by now moved on, go somewhere else and leave me alone because I didn't even think of the possibility that he could be there. So I thought it would be fine to, you know, share that I'm going, and I wanted to give the opportunity to fans to see me, and I just wanted to do my normal cosplay stuff, you know. Years ago I would always say where I'm going at events and all that. I just wanted it to be normal. So I announced that I was going. You definitely saw that. And I came in early, and then I did my makeup and my everything, and then I was done pretty early, and I went to the rooftop. The rooftop cosplay area is like the most popular cosplay area they have. Like all the cool people go there, and I wanted to go there too because like the other areas that I always used to go to were closed forever. So I went to the rooftop, which is like the hottest place, and so I spent like 2 hours there, and everything was fine during those first 2 hours. Then I went in to take a break to, you know, I said hi to Iori Moe, which was awesome. One of the positive things of the day. I met Iori Moe and we took a selfie, and then she wanted a selfie too, and she followed me back on Twitter. Okay, yay, let's go. A nice thing. I really like her. She's so cute. So I said hi to her and, you know, just like try to cool down from the heat outside, taking a little break. Eventually, I decided to go back in, but there were people like hoping to still find me. Like even people that like a camera guy that I knew from many years ago was still trying to find me. So I thought have to share where I am and where I go, you know? So I shared, okay, I'm going again to the rooftop. Now I will be there for 1.5 hours or so. So I make my way onto the rooftop, and it's really crowded this time, really hard to find a space. So I'm walking around with a few like fans or photographers who want a picture. Behind me, we're like making our way through the crowd slowly. I finally find a space that looks good. And it's kind of like, so it's like this big open area generally, but it's full with people, and there's like fencing things off. And you're only allowed to take photos as a cosplayer in designated areas within these fenced off areas so that people can still walk in between, right? So I found a good spot that was like the corner of a fenced area. Pretty easy to like see me because I would be right where people walk by. And you can see this in the picture. You can see this in the picture that I retweeted most recently a few minutes ago, in case you haven't seen yet. In the first picture. So this is the moment. I arrived with the people that have found me and followed me to take a picture. Like some just I picked up on the way, kind of, I guess, without knowing. I put my things down in this corner that I found. I put my suitcase there, I put it in position with my name sign and everything, and I'm like, okay, let's get started. And I have my line in front of me, and the first guy stands there, and he's getting ready to take a picture. Like, we're literally just starting, and there's like 20 people in the line, right? We're literally just starting, and these people have been waiting for me and looking for me all over this event where hundreds of thousands of people are looking for me. No, not looking for me. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to the event, and there's people looking for me, so it's hard to find me. So I want to give them the opportunity to find me, right? That's why I'm doing this. So the first guy, we're literally just getting started. He takes one picture, and that one picture is the very moment where from behind me, like diagonally behind me, someone jumps over the fence, and I kind of like, it was diagonally behind me. I think I like low-key partially looked behind me, maybe? I don't remember so well, but I feel like I was aware that someone was like jumping over the fence. Maybe I saw the leg or so in the corner of my eye. But I thought in that moment, I thought it was maybe somebody, like, you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to jump over the fence, but maybe somebody really felt like they had to make a shortcut for some reason or pass by. So I didn't, that's why I thought, oh, this is normal in a way, so I won't look back. And then it happened so fast. He's much taller than me. I'm 1 meter 60 centimeters, and I don't know his exact height, but he's pretty tall. Like, he stands out in a crowd of Japanese people. He's Japanese, but he's very tall and a little bit on the wider side, but not too crazy. Not very muscular at all, but you know, the size of him is big, much bigger than me. Like 2 heads bigger maybe than me. So kind of intimidating in size, but his face looks like a piece of coward. So his face is like not intimidating. His face is really just the face of a disgusting pig. So with that being said, it happened so fast. He jumps over the fence diagonally behind me. He, like, you see it in the picture when I say he grabbed me. He didn't just grab my arm or something. He grabbed my whole body, like jumped me, and I'm like kind of like trying to get away from him. He still jumps me and grabs me, and I don't get away from him. And this whole time I'm screaming out of the top of my lungs from fear and terror because this guy gives me PTSD, because this is not the first time, and I did not expect this ever, that I would see this piece of son of a, I didn't think I would see him again. He jumps me, and I'm screaming, and I'm screaming, and I'm screaming, and this felt like an eternity. I think it was unreasonably long. I think, okay, I will give the people the excuse that they were surely confused and shocked, but that resulted in him being on me longer than I would have wished. I mean, ideally, he should have never touched me, but it felt like an eternity, and I felt disgusted and sick sick in my stomach. And it felt like, okay, realistically, maybe it was 10 seconds and it felt like an eternity. You know, when something happens and it's not that long in reality, but every second longer makes it so much worse and makes it feel an hour longer or whatever. And obviously I'm screaming and not liking it. He's not letting go. People finally start to grab him, I think. I don't really know what was happening, but they're grabbing him, and I would assume several people tried to like get him off of me, drag him away, but he's like really holding on strong. Finally they get him off of me. By the way, he didn't grope any parts of my body specifically, like let's say like boobs or so. Not that I could in that moment be aware of. It was more like a full body grab, like, bro. They finally get him off of me and I'm like hyperventilating and like so in shock. Like my body wants to cry, my body wants to puke, my body wants to scream more, my body wants to kill him. My body wants to just like, I'm freaking out. I'm hyperventilating. It's like, you know, this is the most crowded cosplay area. Everybody's like shocked at what's happening. I think my screams were so loud, like people in a 200-meter radius probably heard me. Everybody looked around. People stopped when they weren't supposed to stop in the pathways. They were like, oh, just please keep on moving, please keep on moving. But everybody's just stopping, looking. Some people are filming, and everybody's just shocked. And there was like a cosplayer next to me, and I feel really bad to her because when I was like running away from the guy being grabbed, I very much intruded her like personal space, and with all the people then being around me trying to protect me, yeah, we were like, obviously, like I apologized to her, and she was like, oh, it's okay, don't worry. And she was also like, you know, everybody close by could not like just move on with what they were doing. They were like all shocked. So I'm sure she understood the situation. Like, I feel like, you know, we girls, we gotta hold together and be strong and support each other. I'm sure she sees it the same way. But yeah, everybody's looking, and then Comic staff, like this is all happening fast, right? Comic staff comes over, like 3 or so, and like join the like circling of the this is also, I think, visible in the pictures that I retweeted. And then this just happened hours ago, and I can't like even remember every single proper order of things and things that were said, but he was like, you know, this guy is mentally ill, and let's say there's several levels of mentally ill people and what they will be capable of doing. This guy is, yeah, concerningly mentally ill to a level where I would say there could have been a version of the story where he had a knife and stabbed me. I find this very realistic, and that should tell you on what level of mentally ill this guy is. He's just, I guess he was still delusional enough to think that I love him, even though I have never said such a thing, and often many times already rejected him, blocked him, reported him to the police. Would I do that if I love you? Would I run away from you several times? Would I dodge your kiss? Would I report you to the Narita airport police many years ago when you were following me upon my arrival and not stopping to follow me? So I had to go to the police and report him back then, and they talked to him. Would I do that if I love you and wanted to marry you? Okay. Delusional, mentally ill guy. So, okay, let me finish the situation story, and then I give you more of a background that this guy has with me. So people are like, who is this? And I'm like, it's my stalker. I say that in Japanese. It's my stalker. And I don't even want to say that, because me saying that in Japanese or in English makes me feel sick, because the word my, when I think about it, like while I'm saying it, it's hard for me to say. I don't know how to explain this, but it's almost like a friendly thing. Do you know what I mean? Like saying my to somebody who you hate and you're disgusted by, and you don't want to see or perceive or anything. I don't want to say any word that is attached with my. I don't want him to be my anything. Oh! Throw up. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah, it makes it personalized, and I don't want anything. No. Anyway, so like he's like, oh, what do you mean? No, I'm your stalker. Why didn't you block me? And I'm blocking him. I don't even know his Twitter anymore. I must have blocked it a million years ago. And then he's like, oh, but I've been sending you mails. What do you like? Okay, I get like weird mails every now and then. And now that I think about it, oh yeah, there was certainly like some stalker emails that could have been from him that were insane and just weird, and the typical, oh, I love you, marry me, you love me too, blah blah blah. Haven't looked at it in a long time, but then probably I put the emails on like mute as well, like the sender. So how is any of that, like, how is you sending me emails an excuse for you doing that? How is that a defense? Should you mean I should be aware of, or like, I've never replied to an email once. How does that excuse anything? But he's like making these delusional defense comments in his mind. All of this surely makes sense. So he's screaming over, like, we're like a few meters apart, everybody's like circled by people. He's screaming these things over, and I'm hyperventilating, feeling sick. I don't want to talk to him or see him. So I'm like, why the is he still here? Because he's not leaving, he's like staying, and he still continues to stay. And I don't even know, like, they were asking me like who he is, and I'm like, yeah, he's just a stalker who we had incidents before, and I reported him to the police before, and this and that. And I don't know what they were talking with him there, really. I was not able to listen because I was panicking. I'm pretty sure that was a panic attack. And then like he's there for a while, right? And then I thought, because I didn't see him anymore, I thought they brought him just like somewhere else to have me calm down, have him not be in my view, have him not talk to me. So he wasn't there, and then the staff asked me a few more details and like what I want to do and all that, and would, just like, I don't know. And then they're like, okay, so I think what do you want to do? Would you like to go to the police and report him? And I'm like, actually, yeah, because that fucker, he can't get away with that. And then like they're like, oh, but you would have to leave the komike. Like, they're not gonna come to me, I guess. I have to go to them. Is there no police officers at all on this venue? But yeah, they say I have to leave. And I was thinking like, damn, but I have these people here who looked for me, waiting for me, and we were just getting started. So I felt bad, like, throughout all of this and this extreme heat that we're all suffering through. I don't want to disappoint the fans, right? And the people who are not fans, but just photographers either. So I'm thinking for a moment, but I still come to the conclusion that I should do it. So I'm like, yeah, I guess let's go. And then the staff is like, well, actually, I guess you can't because he's gone. And I'm like, what do you mean he's gone? And he's like, oh, yeah, they lost him. And I'm like, so I can't go to the police because he's not there anymore. We don't know where he is, right? And they're like, yeah, I guess so. I'm like, okay, well, that's great. I guess he just left the venue. I don't know where he went. I guess he left the venue. But the thing is, now I can't. Well, later I talked to a police officer who, if anything, was really nice and supportive and wanted to help me, but told me that the police here will not be able to help me because I don't live here. And I mean, yeah, I've heard this stuff before, so that's just how it is here. If I don't live here, even if he's Japanese and just did a crime of assault, I guess he gets away with it unless he me or something. Police officer was like, yeah, what you can do is, by the way, this was later, like after I changed and everything, I talked to the police officer. He said I should, like, the only thing that really makes sense for me now is going to the embassy and report to them what happened, which doesn't mean at all that they would go to the police for me. They probably won't unless something happens again. But he said that if something happens again, I can then go to the police and say, hey, I previously went to the embassy about this. The embassy will support me on this. So now you have to deal with this issue. Now you have to. But probably now nothing would be done. This would be more like for the future. So that's very unfortunate because I mean, this is, even if I were to go to the police, I don't know if I could do anything because, so I don't have his real name or address. Obviously, like, why would I have that? He's the stalker, not me. But what I have is previous incidents. And now, like, a lot of people who saw the incident who can provide testaments in theory regarding previous incidents incidents. So you may be curious, this guy. Well, I used to stream on a website called Nico Nico Doga, and I was pretty young back then, and I lived in Japan for a while, and during that time, even when I didn't live there but just visited very often, I did like fan meetups that were really small. They were like, including me and my friend, we were like maybe 9-10 people, like really small meetup, and all of these people were like viewers from my Nico Nico live streams back then, and I was like 16, 17, 16, 17? It may have really been that long ago. And I think I remember this guy came to one of these, I think this is where it started. He came to one of these fan meetups, and he was, back then I think he was still normal and nice. And so to these few fans, back then I only had a handful of fans. I cherished every single fan that would go that far to see me at anywhere, really. So I was really nice to everybody. But like, you know, I didn't say to anybody that I love them and want to marry them or date them or anything. But I was just nice, doing like normal fan interactions. And I think he was there, and what may have happened is when he was being treated nicely by me, I guess that was enough to trigger something in him, his mental illness and stalker tendencies, I guess, because after that, I think is when everything wasn't normal anymore. He then started to stalk me and like sending me like all his love messages that are really uncalled for, make no sense because I did not lead him on or anything. He's disgusting, like ew. He's just a fan, but yeah, he wants to marry me. He loves me. I love him too, he says. Oh, he knows it. And yeah, keeps on asking me to meet him, that he needs to tell me something, blah, blah, blah. And then I don't know what happened, which incident happened first, if it was the airport one or the previous Comic one, but both of these are many years ago. Then the airport one is, I was still very young. I was probably before I turned 20. I arrived in Japan at the airport. There were like 2 normal fans there waiting for me and 1 not so normal fan, this guy. The 2 normal fans, they just like said hi and then they left. And this guy, the stalker guy, he follows me. I walk away from him. I ignore him. I don't say anything to him. I walk away from him as fast as I can with my suitcases. He follows me. He follows me. He follows me. I go to one side of the airport. I go to the other side of the airport. He still follows me. Still follows me. I try to go up the escalator. Follows me. I go down. He follows me. But I need to go to the train. I'm trying to get rid of him because I'm not gonna board the train with this guy so that he knows where I'm going. So then I'm like, well, I'll look for police. I go to the train part of the station of the airport, and I find the police that is like stationed at the train station. Haha. And I'm like, hey, this guy is following me. He's still following me when I'm talking to the police. What a fucking idiot. And they're like, oh, okay. They go to him, they bring him in. They put me in a room, they put him in a room, and they talk to us separately. This was before a Comic. I came to Japan for a Comic. Why is it always fucking Comic, man? I'm so... and we talk in these rooms, and I explain to them who he is and how he, has been, like, bothering me. And they ask me, like, why I'm here. I'm like, I'm going to Comic. And they're like, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't go because of this guy. And I'm like, that's your solution? Like, I came here from all the way from Austria, and I came here for Comic, so I'm going to go. And they're like, well, okay, I guess so. They said like they're taking his data so that I think they said if anything happens, let us know. Now we can't do anything because nothing really happened. But if something happens, we have his data. So they have his real name and stuff. But this is so many years ago. I asked the policeman that I met today, how long do you keep records generally? And he was like, maybe 3 or 5 years, depends. Honestly, I think that record is lost anyway, if that is true. But I would hope that you could still dug it out. I don't know. I mean, maybe because it never went to court or anything, that's why it would be gone, because it was just like a record of sorts. But yeah, back then, they took me quite seriously. They were just like, okay, we can't really help you now unless something happens. And when something happens, it's too late. Duh. They were also like, okay, well, we are, in this region, we can't help you in any other other regions because like it's a different prefecture where Comic is happening versus where the airport is. So anyway, I go to the event and I think in this time everything was fine. Probably because he was already spooked because of talking to the police, being interrogated a little bit there. And then the funny thing, the cool thing is, and I back then many years ago, I wrote about this on Twitter too. Like this is all recorded. You could find all the exact dates if you dig deep. Although it might have been on my previous Twitter account. But the police showed up. The local police showed up at some point halfway through the day. Apparently they've been looking for me for the whole day, looking through all these cosplay areas because I didn't even reveal to what cosplay area I'm going or what cosplay I'm wearing. So they were just looking for any girl called Keikihime in between these thousands of hundreds and thousands of people. So I really applaud that and appreciate that. They didn't have to because as the guy at the airport said, they can't. They even said they can't like communicate that to them for some reason. Just because they're different branches, I guess they can't communicate that to them. But they end up communicating it because I think at the time there were other news with like foreigners in Japan being abducted or something, and that was pretty bad news at the time. So they probably didn't want any more bad news like that. So that's why the staff, even though nobody's paying them to like, I'm not paying them to bodyguard me, but they ended up bodyguarding me for the rest of the day. There's just like 2 policemen standing around while I'm taking photos. Thankfully, nothing happened on that day anymore. But then I guess it was surely then after that, 1 or 2 years later, I suppose, at a different comic, I was just like, you know, doing my thing, standing around, taking pictures with photographers, and they stand in a line. So I can't really see when because I'm focusing on taking pictures and looking at the camera. So I guess I didn't see this has been so long, I don't remember. But I didn't see the guy, I guess, but he was standing behind a photographer, I think. Or was he standing on the side and then just coming up to me? Whatever. Like he came up to me and he immediately goes too close to me and tries to kiss me. I dodge. And this is after I already went to the police with him, right? I dodge, I kick him, and he takes 2 steps back, looks at me, shocked like he's a deer on the highway. You know what I mean? At night, a deer standing on the highway in front of a car, like, what the looks at me shocked, and I'm like not sure what the just happened, but upset and like about to cry. There's a few camera guys around us, but they didn't look at the moment. They looked away, and we weren't in a mega crowded area at that point. But yeah, I don't remember how it all ended. I must have written about it on Twitter back then. I don't know when it was, but anyway, we somehow were able to go different ways for some reason. I think I don't know, but it happened. You know, it happened. Another incident with this guy, and that's so many years ago. That must have been the last time I saw him. Maybe, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years ago. Maybe I'm totally miscalculating. I don't know. And I think a while after that, for months or years, he still continued to write to me or try to get to me in a creepy way. Again, like, oh, why don't I know you love me? I know you love me. You need me. I need you. Blah, blah, blah. Disgusting. Delusional as and now it was my first comic in a million years. I did not hear from him in a million years. Honestly, those emails, I didn't even realize that was him. But that doesn't excuse anything anyway. Him sending me emails. What am I supposed to do? Is that because I'm not even answering? Is that's supposed to be a good reasoning as to why you assault me in public again? So yeah, I did not think he would be there. So from now on, I don't think like anything like me bringing pepper spray and tasers and stuff would help, because I imagine if I were in the same situation and I had pepper spray, I wouldn't have been able to use it. It would have been in my bag that would be 1 meter next to me. The guy would grab me, push me to the side while I try to dodge and run away. And how the would I be able to grab it in that moment? These kind of items would not help me. Now I wasn't completely alone. I was with someone there to help me with stuff, but that didn't help me either, obviously, in that situation. It was not something that avoided anything. So guess my solution is, I guess I really have to hire a bodyguard in a suit from now on. I really thought I could avoid this kind of stuff. Like I'm like a relatively easygoing person when it comes to this stuff. Like I try to handle these issues on my own, and usually those issues don't arise anyway. But I can't go to another event in Japan with the risk of this guy going there again. I would hope he finally got the hint now, but I can't be sure, right? So I guess for the next couple of events, whenever that will be, I will get a bodyguard, a real one, not just someone who's offering their help to me, a real one, a professional one. And because another thing I could do, I guess, is like not announcing the events I'm going to. But then the whole point is that I like can give you guys a chance to meet me, and even if it wasn't about fans, I would want photographers to find me and take pictures with me and stuff, right? Especially ones that I know from long time ago. So I would want to somewhere just like be able to, like any other normal cosplayer, be able to announce I'm going to an event, I'm going in this outfit, see you there. And I've been generally relatively secretive about events. Like Dokumi I announced quite ahead of time because I had a booth, but like the convention in Italy, I tried to keep quiet about it and like low-key about it as much as I could, so that at least people couldn't maybe plan too far ahead to find me there in case they had bad intentions. But then there's so many people with good intentions, and I don't want to ruin their experiences, their possible experiences. I don't want to punish everybody for one single bad guy who should ideally just perish forever. But I can't punish everybody else for that guy's behavior. I don't wanna. And while I was feeling like super disgusted, like, cause my whole body, you see it in the picture, my whole right side of my body, the moment he let go, I had this sensation in my body that felt like I want to rip off my arm. I want to take a shower immediately because I feel so violated. I couldn't though. As I said, we just started taking pictures, so I wanted to, be nice to the people who were there for me. And the guy was gone anyway. I couldn't do anything anyway because he was just let go into the free once again with mentally ill dude. So yeah, I don't know. I think I said it all. I think I'm not gonna do this really in overseas events, like European events. Another thing I was thinking, because for me it's really just about taking pictures when it comes to like Japanese events. And if you are at like an official booth, a Kigyo booth, working for like game companies or so as their official cosplayer, which is something I always wanted to do. If you do that, I feel like if I did that, I feel like I would be more protected. Fans would still be able to see me, but there would be booth staff, many, perhaps security too, and I could like warn them beforehand to keep an eye out for such a guy and all that. I feel like I would feel generally more protected in such an environment, in such an event. I just need one of these booths to hire me. But I always wanted to work for an Arknights booth, man. So, wink wonk. Please save me from my misery. Yostar, please let me work for you and give me your protection, your divine protection, Arknights, please. So those are my two solutions, I guess, to either be hired at a booth when it comes to Japanese event, hired at a booth, or get a freaking real bodyguard. I almost feel ridiculous for like showing up with a bodyguard. Like if nothing happens, it's like, of course that's good, but it's like I feel like I feel like pretentious or so. But well, now we have very recent proof that it is indeed necessary. So yeah, I am really, really disappointed that something like this happens and ruins my day, because besides that, things were fun. I met HanaAme, the beautiful lady, and had dinner with her, and I had a shower in her bathroom, and she wanted to take the shower with me, and I said, no, please let me shower alone. She wanted to go to onsen with me. I was like, no, this is the first time we ever meet. I don't feel comfortable in onsens in general. How could I feel comfortable next to such a perfectly shaped, gorgeous lady? So I turned down the nice offers from HanaAme, but she's gorgeous and she was really sweet, and we had dinner and she treated me for really, really, really good food, and it was definitely a nice distraction from the insanity. I feel sorry for screaming out of the top of my lungs. I think people must have heard me from so far and be like, "What the is going on over there?" I'm sorry. In hindsight, I'm so embarrassed for making such a scene, but it was definitely a scene by nature. I can't believe it happened. I'm not even like, did it actually happen? Am I back to that other incident many, many years ago? Did this really happen? I can't really fathom it. Yeah. I had a good shower though, so I feel better after washing that disgusting feeling off of me. I'm okay. People have been saying I'm glad you're safe now, but like that's the thing. Maybe I'm safe now, but I wasn't safe then, so I'm not safe. I'm like, yeah, mentally in distress. But I'm glad I could let it out. You guys have the story, and I retweeted something that you are very welcome to retweet. Please retweet it as much as you can. Thank you so much for the fan who took the pictures as great evidence. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna rest now, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm even considering next comic, but just in general, because I don't know if I would have time for it. If I go, don't worry, I would go with either a real bodyguard or try to be in a safer environment, like a company booth. It's just like, this is another one of these cases where I'm sad that I cannot do my one single hobby in a normal way anymore as I used to in the past, and always have to be wary and on alert and careful, and just like there's some people who I tell about previous stalker problems that I have, and I feel like people don't take it seriously. Like, this is fucking serious. When I say this person is dangerous, please take it seriously. Just throwing that out there, but I think it's not gonna be heard by the right people necessarily. But I think by now I have a good sense and radar for mentally ill people who like to stalk others, because I have my fair share of those. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. I wanted to let this out so that I can move on and not let this occupy my mind for too long. I don't know where the hell that rumor would come from, but this guy did never try to invade my home. I don't know if this comes from this one old clip of me when I did a stream. I don't know if it was a Twitter stream or a Nico Nico stream back then, but that was when I wasn't living in Japan. I was just in an Airbnb. It was a shitty old scary Airbnb, but nobody tried to break in. There was just like loud creepy wind, I think. I don't know. I was definitely scared and I was crying because of that, but not even because of that only. It was more, I think I was just scared of cockroaches that were on the floor where I was supposed to be sleeping on, and I was panicking that I didn't want to stay in that Airbnb, and that's why I was streaming and like trying to get myself calm by having like not being alone by streaming. You know, if I'm streaming, I'm not alone, right? You guys are right here with me, right? So that's many years ago. I was not like, nobody was breaking in and assaulting me. I was just like freaking out because of loud noises and old dirty Airbnb that I didn't know how to get the shower to work because it was like 50, 60, 70 years old, and cockroaches, and it was definitely scary and sketchy as. But that guy didn't break in. He was not part of that story. So please don't start mixing stories of my life that you don't really know the details and the origins from. I see that happen every once in a while. People making up their own stories. So if you have a question about any incident, feel free to ask me, and I might explain it to you if you ask me publicly on Twitter. Don't try to bait replies to me in DMs, please. Thank you. Okay, that's my part. Thank you you. Good night.
Another account quickly trying to summarize what was being said during that space, including JP police lost him at Comiket and couldn't help her because she doesn't live there. The stalker supposedly had been doing this since she was 16 to 17 years of age when she streamed on Nico Nico, and that Keekihime was sent love messages and other weird fantasies from him. This individual even trying to kiss her after being interrogated previously by Japanese police, and once again that Keekihime is thinking about hiring security for future events. Keekihime herself tweeting, "The guy who took the pictures of the assaulter, please DM me. DMs are open now. Please don't spam me, guys." Further tweeting, "Sorry, please don't send me DMs just to tell me, quote, I'm sorry that happened to you. You can tell me that in normal replies. I'm trying to get important pictures from the incident and event through DMs. I appreciate the cooperation. Please, thanks." One individual replying, "As much as I hate to say it, the only people that should be seeing that picture are convention security and local police. Posting it on social media could turn out to be more trouble than it's worth. Hope you are okay otherwise. Get with a bunch of friends." Keekihime replying, "Neither of them can do anything according to their own words to me." Replying to another individual and saying, "I talked to the police and they said I gotta go to the embassy." And upon one user saying this is the same stalker slash assaulter who had tried to break into her apartment years ago, Keekihime would clear the record and saying that's not true. This cosplayer also tweeting out, "I'm with a cosplay friend right now, so I'm trying to stay normal and calm, but the thought just came to me that this stalker could have literally killed me right then and there if he had a knife with him. The way he jumped me and held me for like 10 full seconds. To be honest, I don't know if I would call it that I'm safe. I'm safe now maybe, but I wasn't then." Keekihime lastly saying, "With that, the topic is done. I'll move on, but knowledge is power." Numerous accounts replying, including Peach Milky, saying, "I'm so sorry this happened to you. You don't deserve this at all. My blood runs cold thinking about this awful situation. I am so glad that you are safe. Please take care and rest." Bow the Whale here with how the actual F does having tons of photo evidence and tons of witnesses not land this mother effer in jail. I cannot imagine your frustration. I wish you nothing but peace and healing. You are incredibly brave for not letting him get away, and good on you for blasting him online. I hope he realizes he effed with the wrong one. Altero here with holy heck, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh my god. I hope you're safe and okay. That's so scary. I'm sorry it happened to you. Stay strong. Jimmy the Weeb Shooter here with glad you are with friends now. I understand the circumstances and risk very well from my line of work. A few seconds could be fatal. Please take good care of yourself. We love you and wish that this will never happen again in the future. And now very quickly we turn to DEMONDICE, going on to show off a live stage concert from this past weekend and stating this concluded the last show I plan to do for a long time. My life and music career have become too busy to the point where I really can't do these anymore. Came to do this show because I missed last year due to Ligma and wanted to make it up. But if there's ever a chance again, I'd like to see you all someday in the future. I don't know where or when that'll be, but I'm looking forward to it. And now some viewers may notice that I'm coming to you in a different dimension. This thanks to 3D VTuber artist Pastel, helping to create this model over the past half of a year. And of course being based off of Momote's original 2D design, as we also have a very quick thank you to Ori, providing us with this wonderful new background. This new model featuring over 200,000 triangles, 8 animations, 62 shape keys, and 21 toggles. And also a quick thank you for all the birthday well wishes this past weekend. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. Send in your VTuber news to our Discord, as we'll have more things VTubers say for you soon.